Hey guys, I'm Lynnie with Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and I'm here with the message for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This is just going to be a general message, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read, but typically it's going to be about your relationship to something or someone in particular. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become an official Sunflower. We start today's reading with the Nine of Wands. Somebody's in a very protective or self-protective and isolating kind of energy. And I feel like it's a result of some sort of confusion or miscommunication that happened within some kind of relationship here. I do see that there is a desire to reconcile, but it's almost like when things got tough or complicated, somebody chose to isolate, and I'm seeing that as the masculine. They could have Virgo in their chart, they could be a Virgo, don't have to be, but they're coming through as this hermit energy. The hermit energy is isolation. It's not communicating with the outside world. It's doing a lot of inner work, or very much being inner focused. Okay. The feminine is coming through as this Queen of Swords. This is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, feminine air sign energy. And that might be the position in which you're playing. Although I do feel like it's kind of an equal balance between the masculine and the feminine energy here. Overall, I would just start by saying that you guys want the same things. I think you both want this relationship, but I think it's a little bit confusing for the feminine because she's not sure, or they're not sure. This is not a gender specific reading. It's just about the energy that's coming through. They're not sure if this masculine is going to tuck tail and run every time things get hard or difficult or complicated, right? Every time things get overwhelming. Because when you're in a partnership or in a relationship, you should be able to depend on your partner for support and things like that, unless they're the reason for the confusion, right? Unless they're the reason why things are kind of falling apart. This might also be some sort of external thing that was affecting your relationship, and it just became somewhat overwhelming, maybe mentally, for this masculine energy, to the point where they just were like, I'm just going to run away from this because I can't handle this right now. They also may have made themselves believe that because they were in such a dark place, or because they were struggling so much, that if they stuck around, that they were only going to bring you down. I do feel like personally, like that's a cop out. Like if anybody ever abandons you to deal with any kind of circumstances or situations in which you feel like you have to defend yourself, and they leave you to deal with that alone, even though they might be the cause or the reason for it, or they might be playing a role in it, and they just go, hey, you got this, I'll see you later. I feel like it's a bit of a cop out to say, well, I couldn't help you much anyway, I was in a dark space. It's like, okay, what if you were in a dark space too, feminine? What if you didn't feel like you had the energy, or what if you feel like you didn't have the capacity to deal with this either, and they just left you to deal with this on your own? Like I said, I do see that both of you still want this. Both of you still want to come together, but this person is not necessarily being upfront about wanting a reconciliation. I will say that this person might be going through some sort of spiritual awakening or a dark night of the soul, this masculine energy here. It's also possible that they're having a lot of financial issues or just material issues, like here in the 3D, like things aren't happening for them in the way that they would want to, in order for them to feel like they are like a contributor to this relationship. I also see that this Queen of Swords, this feminine energy here, wants to offer something to this masculine, potentially a new start, opening up a new path. And I just feel like the exchange for that would be some sort of understanding on why this confusion happened in the first place, or why at the first sign of conflict they decided to isolate and leave you to deal with it on your own. Okay. The overall outcome for this, potential outcome, let me not say overall, the potential outcome for this is two cards, like, which is not what normally happens. Usually it's just one card. We have the Nine of Swords. Okay. This is an energy of regret, remorse, being mentally overwhelmed and beyond your capacity. Then we have the Ace of Wands, which is talking about a new path opening up, a passionate new beginning. Like, if this person can, how can I say this? There's somebody in this situation, whether it's the masculine or the feminine, who needs to let go of what happened, needs to let go of the past in order for you guys to move forward. Now, are you going to be able to move forward in a healthy way if this doesn't happen? Absolutely not. Somebody's going to have to forgive themselves for whatever role they played in this situation. Nobody's an angel. It takes two to tango. But what I will say is, Queen of Swords, you seem like somebody who has a strong sense of integrity. You seem like a strong communicator. You seem like somebody who can be independent and do it on their own, but it's like you don't necessarily want to. You almost feel like there's a piece of you missing, not being with this person. I also feel like the masculine is in a similar situation. They're probably in a space in their life where they could use the most support. Like, they really need support, they really need love, they really need kindness, they really need help right now. And instead of asking you for it, instead of leaning on their partner, right? Instead of leaning on the person who's supposed to be there for them, they've decided to isolate. Now, what I will say is maybe one of you or both of you is emotionally unavailable. You guys see the potential for this relationship and you're not ready to give up. But at the same time, I do see some codependency here. I got to be honest. What you're wanting is a renewal in this love, in this relationship. That's what you both want. But I don't see you guys seeing eye to eye. You're pointing different directions. And I can't really pick up the spread and show it to you, but you're looking off in different directions. It's almost like one of you really wants to protect yourself and the other one really wants to come to some sort of understanding. And I don't see you guys being on the same page right now. Okay, let's clarify and see what else is going on here. Let's clarify the Hermit for a Capricorn. We got the Emperor, which is divine masculine energy. It's also Aries energy. Let's see. What else for the Hermit? The King of Swords. Yeah, you guys are definitely in separation right now. I do see that somebody wants to communicate with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck with the Judgment card after that. In order for them to be able to make a final decision, that could be you. But this is how this person is coming up, as this Emperor, as this King of Swords. And like I said, you came up as the Queen of Swords. So you guys are a match, but the King and Queen of Swords typically represents a divorced or separated couple. And if you guys are together, it just means that you're both very future minded, very future focused. Let me slow down. You're intellectually stimulated more than anything. And you're both very intelligent. Okay. I also see there's this coldness that is between you right now. I think maybe this masculine's trust was broken. That's kind of what it's starting to look like to me now. Because I do feel like this person feels the need to stand their ground. It's almost like if they give you another opportunity, feminine, you might take advantage of them in a way that they can't accept or in a way that they can't tolerate. And it's like, as much as they want your support and love you and want to be in this relationship with you, there are just some things they cannot accept. Okay? There are just some things they cannot tolerate. Queen of Swords, let's clarify that. We have the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups. Okay, Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck, King of Pentacles. This is masculine earth sign energy. For some of you, this may represent a third-party situation in which the feminine stepped out on this masculine and possibly dealt with an earth sign masculine energy, somebody that they may have known since childhood or have some sort of childhood or past life connection with. I see it's like almost like your ability to have feelings for somebody outside of this masculine who's represented here by the King of Swords and the Hermit is devastating to this masculine. And I just feel like there's a sense of wanting to reconcile, wanting to reconnect, wanting to bring things back together, but it almost feels very naive. As if like, okay, so I'm not saying that you cheated, feminine, but what I am saying that is that if you did cheat, if you did violate this masculine's trust in any way, even if it didn't involve another person, you're almost taking a very naive approach to coming back together, as if they should just kind of get over it. Like, you just feel like, well, if I explain myself, then they'll have no choice but to get over it. If I explain myself, then they'll have no choice but to give me another chance, because surely they'll see it from my perspective, and I don't really see it that way. Like I said, once again, I don't see you guys seeing eye to eye right now. Let's clarify a little bit more. Seven of Cups. We have the World, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Cups. There may have been some sort of feeling of an opportunity being missed, potentially even an opportunity from the past, or some sort of cycle not being closed out. Okay, so even if you didn't actually cheat, feminine, it's almost as if you left the door open for somebody. Maybe you were texting somebody behind your person's back. Maybe you were like engaging in this kind of work wife, work husband thing, and they found out about it and felt violated or felt betrayed in some way. It almost feels as if you think what you did was like kind of harmless, like they shouldn't be taking it as seriously as they are or as they do. But you can't really tell somebody how to feel about the things that you do. Like you can't control the reaction or the response that you get when you do something that hurts someone, even if you didn't anticipate that it would hurt someone. It's almost like this masculine feels like they were neglected, and you see it as some sort of a game in some ways, even though you feel like you want to be with this person, even though, like I said, there is some codependency here and there is some sort of need to rely on each other in a sense. This masculine is like, I'll suffer instead of coming back to you. Like they have so much pride about it. It's like you wounded their ego very, very deeply. And for you, it just didn't feel like it was that deep. Let's clarify the Page of Pentacles here for Capricorn. The Queen of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Once again, the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. There is definitely a need for truth and clarity here. There's definitely a need for some sort of understanding or some sort of confirmation of like what happened and how do you move forward from here, if that's actually what both of you guys want. With the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords here, sorry, not the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords, the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Swords. I do think that there's an element of being able to manipulate or control the masculine in a way. Once again, this idea that if I just have a chance to talk to them, I can get them back on my side. But I don't really see, I'll show you guys this again. I don't really see them listening. I don't really see them paying attention to the charm that you might have or the way that you typically get them back. This might not be something that has happened only once. And it may not be the same thing, the same exact thing happening over and over again. But it's almost like there's this habit or this pattern that keeps repeating in your relationship. And usually all you have to do is either, have sex with this person or seduce this person or charm this person, and they usually get over it. That's why they're not talking to you. They're not talking to you, feminine, because they don't want to give you the opportunity to get over on them anymore. They don't want to give you the opportunity to be sweet with them. And then they just go, oh, okay, it's fine. They feel disrespected and they feel like this is a pattern of disrespect. And they feel like the only way that they can absolutely move on from you is if they ignore you, if they ghost you, if they don't talk to you, if they go cold on you, if they separate themselves from you. This person might actually even be pursuing a divorce if you guys are legally married. Let's clarify the Ace of Wands with the the Nine of Swords. Yeah, we got the Four of Swords and the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. There's a need for you to connect to your heart space on this. Spirit is telling me, how would you feel? How would you feel? You need to put yourself in this masculine shoes. How would you feel if somebody did to you what you did to them? Now, before you say it wasn't a big deal, it wasn't a big deal. It's not about the same exact thing happening to you. It's about the level of disrespect or the pattern of disrespect or the pattern of betrayal or the pattern of neglect that's happening in this relationship. How would you feel if it happened to you? I almost feel like you take this masculine for granted because typically you are able to get them back. Typically you are able to plead your case and they go, oh, okay, I'll forgive you type stuff. But this time, it's going to take a long time before they're even willing to talk to you. It's going to take a long time before they're even willing to give you the benefit of the doubt or even feel like they owe you a conversation. Somebody might just say, I've had enough, and that's that, and I'll never speak to you again. The silence from this person could go on forever. That's going to trigger so much guilt and so much remorse and so much I don't know, you're going to recognize maybe the ways in which you were ungrateful for this person in your life. I don't think that you would play as many games with this person if you felt as if they would actually leave. And it takes that last time of somebody packing up, leaving, and never coming back for some people to realize, oh, damn, I pushed it too far. You need to connect to your heart space. I do feel like you see this person maybe as your soulmate with the Six of Cups there and the Queen of Cups. You maybe see this person as somebody that you really truly have emotion for, but you are somewhat, once again, emotionally unavailable. And that might be why it's so easy for you to play with them or so easy for you to take them for granted because you didn't really fully invest emotionally. Maybe it was almost like, I'm going to hurt them before they can hurt me, or I'm going to show them that they're disposable before they can take advantage of me or before they try to play with me. And when you go into relationships with this idea, and maybe you're not even conscious of this. Maybe this isn't at the surface level of your self-awareness. Maybe this is some sort of pattern that you carry deep down inside. In order for you to always like go, well, people just can't handle me. People just don't understand me. Maybe you need to be listening a little bit more. Maybe you need to open up your ears, open up your heart, and try to connect a little bit more. Because I just feel as if you're not taking this very seriously, but this person is serious as a heart attack. They're not tolerating any more disrespect from you, and that's the reason why they're not going to talk to you. It's because they don't want to give you a chance to try to get back on their good side. All right, Capricorn, this is what I have for you guys. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will be with you next time.